Yes, we are live. Hello again. How are you?
Good.
Amazing. Guys, today I brought another guest and we are doing live with my amazing client Whisper. She's my OG client and we just talked about it that she's been with me for a year and a half, which makes me super happy. And so I want to share, or we want to share her journey with you. Amazing journey. Just wait. So Whisper, I guess like tell us who is Whisper. Who was a Whisper before she met me, I guess. So yeah, you can just introduce yourself to let everyone know.
Okay. So I'm Whisper, obviously. Just this past April, I got married, so that was actually the biggest reason why I was looking for a coach. And I found Martina on TikTok of all places, is where I followed her and started liking her. But before Martina, I've always loved to work out. I was in sports growing up. I've always been an outside person, outdoors, like hiking, walking. I love to go to the gym, but I never really understood what nutrition was and like how to eat. And
Mm,
my biggest thing was I would grab like smaller meals, or I would just not eat for hours upon hours. And that's how I felt like I was going to lose the most weight, of not eating breakfast and just eat like drink a protein shake later on, and then have like a dinner, but not even a really good dinner. I wasn't cooking all the time. Um, so yeah, I mean, I struggle with mostly nutrition. I've always loved working out, so I always loved building that sweat and getting stronger. I just never really knew how to target specific body parts. My biggest thing was my stomach area was my biggest insecurity.
yeah.
So yeah, found her on TikTok and started following her and messaged her one day, and then we started talking on, I think, Instagram or Facebook. And
I think Facebook, if I remember. Yeah.
and then we started working together, and ever since then I love working with her. I love her support. The biggest thing is I'm hard on myself with a
Yeah.
lot of things, and she's very good about reminding me like it's okay. It's just a work in progress. You'll learn. And then my biggest struggle recently is I am 6 months pregnant. So after getting into like the best shape of my life, I found out that me and my husband are expecting our first little one in December. So learning that um, next adventure of my body and how it changes. And then, of course, I got put on light duty, and Martina's great about changing up my workouts to monitor them so I know what I can and can't do. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I don't
That's
know.
so amazing. I honestly like just like because I was part of like so many things in your life, like getting married and now the pregnancy, and it's just like so amazing to see how you're like growing and learning and how we go through this together. And yes, you had amazing transformation. Like I was blown away from your glutes. Like remember, like we always point on your glutes because the consistency and everything and all the hard work that you put in into that program, and just overall just like everything I asked you, you just did. And I was like every single week, like your results were just like speaking for themselves. um I guess like what was your biggest hesitation? Because till this day, I like literally remember the conversation that we had when we first started talking, and you were pretty committed. I know that you were you were like you knew what you wanted. But like, did you have any hesitations over like hiring an online coach? Because I feel like people are like, how you can help me if you're online? Like, some people don't even know, right, how this whole thing works.
Right. Yeah. So I was a little hesitant just because I didn't know you. I just found you on Facebook, and I was hesitant to spend the money and not feel like I was more of a like a client, like a friend, like someone I could talk to
Mhm.
consistently. But like giving me your phone number, talking to me constantly, messaging me, always checking on me, video chatting. I definitely think the one-on-ones for coaching with video chats helped a lot. It made me feel like we were like connecting. So I definitely think that was a huge thing for me. But that was biggest. And my other second guessing was just myself, was like, if I do this, like I'm committing to this, I'm making this change. I don't want to step back. I'm one of those people that, like, once I commit, I'm full in and I don't back away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's why you got such amazing results, because you were all in, right? Like I always say that it just blows my mind that some people are on this impression that if they hire a coach, those results will come. And it's like, no, like you still have to work. Like you
Mhm.
still have to do the things, otherwise you're just gonna spend money and not get any results, right? So I guess nutrition is definitely something that 90% people struggles with. Like some people say, when I ask them like what is your biggest struggle, and they say fitness, but then when we start talking about nutrition, it's like, dude, like fitness is not a big problem for you. It's like your nutrition. That's why you're not losing the weight, because that's
Mhm.
usually what people want. They want to lose weight. So what have you learned when it comes to nutrition? Because I also want to mention, and I know you will like admit it, is that, or confirm that, I feel that working like with me or being in the program, you've learned. It wasn't just like, oh, Martina is giving me meal plan and I'll just
Mhm.
follow it, and I don't really know why she's asking me to eat like this, but I'll just do it. It's more so about, hey, like I'm here to learn.
Mhm.
So then one day we start working together. I want to say, and I'm confident to say, that you are so knowledgeable now about what you put in your body that you will be able to do this on your own. Am I right?
No, I absolutely agree with you. I definitely, I feel like I could definitely go and, do this myself and maintain myself, and it is a lifestyle change. I I just, it's kind of like that best friend vibe of like, oh, I got this best friend, and like she can like give me that motivation when I can't motivate myself, and watching your videos and stuff like that. But I would definitely agree with you. Learning what you're eating and what's good for your body is the biggest challenge, and understanding that. And once you gain that knowledge, it's really a lot easier to be able to have that lifestyle change. And I know, like, it's going to take me time to get back to where I was before, and even better, because I want to continue to push.
Yes.
But I know that now nutrition is going to be the key, and actually eating more protein and eating more meals a day is going to be that driver for me, rather than starving myself for a day and a half to try and get that flat stomach or stuff like that.
Right. Right. And not only that you can do this on your own, but you definitely, like you have impact on people in your life. Like people will ask, right? Like what did you
Hmm.
do? How did you do that? And you can tell them, because I know a lot of our clients are just like, not only that they learn on their own, or for themselves, but they teach their kids, their husbands, spouses. Like overall, it's just like me, right? And now
Hmm.
you're growing a little baby, 6 months, and it just makes me happy to know that now you will learn so much that you can, like, you will, like, your child, you will be raising
Hmm.
her and teaching her the healthy habits, making sure that she won't starve herself when she hits the 14, 15, 16
Hmm.
teenage years, because that's all we did. And I just, generally speaking, think that the education at school, or overall, just like kids have no knowledge or understanding about how to eat properly, because it comes from their parents, and if their
Hmm.
parents don't teach them, that they don't know, and that's why they end up like me, being bulimic for 12 years, you starving yourself, thinking that's the only way how to lose weight, which I think it's horrible. And so that makes me happy when I can like change your life and teach you. And now I know that you're going to do the same thing to others, even
Hmm.
though you're not a coach, but you have the knowledge, which is awesome. So how much weight did you lose? Like your goal was to get flat tummy and
Hmm.
weight loss, right? I was looking at your graph, obviously from your highest weight to the lowest before you got pregnant. It was about like 20 pounds almost, I think, like
Hmm.
it, right? So would you say that before you got pregnant, you were in the shape that you wanted to be? Like, did you hit your goal?
Yeah, my goal was, and I know numbers never a thing, and it should never be a thing now that I know that. But like in my mind, like I had a number set that that's what I was gonna hit before my wedding day. And I did hit that. I hit the 135 mark where I wanted to be. And even though I was still, so I where I started, I think I started at 145, but once I started eating healthier and maintaining that metabolism, I did start to gain a little weight. But
Yep.
then like it started to flux right back off as soon as I started building back up. So
Yep.
like I definitely did get in the best shape, and I think even when I went back to the 140 mark or 145 mark, I still looked way better now or then than I did prior, and I felt good about myself. But I'm one of those people where I put my mind to something and I don't stop. And that's where I had that number in my head. I know because I know you questioned me a couple times, like, why is this that number? Like, you look great, your body's transferring. Like, why is that number such a big driver? And I think that was just, I have that number in my head and that's what I wanted. And I did. I hit it the week of my wedding. I actually hit it. And then I found out I was pregnant, but it was great. So it worked out. But yeah, I was definitely in the best shape that I've ever been. I was starting to look at myself in the mirror and just like be like, this is awesome. Like I loved the way I looked.
That's so like that gives me goosebumps because that is like the one of the best feelings, knowing that all the hard work that you're putting in is paying off. And it not only that like I we always say that it's not just like you look great, but when you look great you feel great, and then your mental health gets better, you feel better about yourself, your self-esteem, confidence. It's just like a whole package, right?
Mhm.
And what was your biggest challenge in the whole like coaching or struggle?
So my biggest challenge would probably be my husband. So my husband is one of those people that can eat anything and not gain a single pound. So probably on weekends or times that we would go out, like he's super supportive. I will say that he would be like, you're not supposed to eat that, or hey, like, is that what you're supposed, is that in your macros? Like that was his famous saying. So like that was probably my biggest struggle of learning how to just eat what I wanted to eat, but and not feel like I had to go and go that extra mile that everyone was eating. When we would go out to dinner, I didn't need to get that extra dessert, or I didn't need to get the multiple drinks of alcohol, or just learning that it's okay. I'm choosing this because I want to learn, I want to develop. Now, I will tell everybody right up here, I wasn't perfect. There was weekends that we'd go to a concert, I eat the fried food, I'd have a couple beverages, but then I just reminded myself I'd get back on track the next day and continue to push forward with progress. So I know Martina and Aaron and all of them say it 100 times that you don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's just about consistency and always remembering to get back on track. And one day isn't going to set you back a million. And I mean, I'm 6 months pregnant and I'm still in better shape now than I would when I started at the beginning of this process.
Oh, yes, you are. I was looking at your pictures and I'm like, you like only gaining weight in your belly. Honestly,
Hmm.
like it's doesn't go anywhere else. You're just cute, cute pregnant. It just looks really good on you. um yeah, I think that really what you said, it's about the mindset, and I feel like I hear myself when I listen to you when we say like, hey, it's my goal, like if everyone eats around me, that's okay, I'm choosing to do this for myself. And
Hmm.
once I hit the goal, I will be able to go out and eat whatever I want, and then when it happens, you just take it. You don't punish yourself like most women, like, oh my god, like I ate this, I'm failure, like, what did I do, like I'm horrible, and then you start talking like so bad about yourself and actions and things that you do just because you think that eating french fries when you go to the festival, it's something wrong. And that's the diet culture, right? That's how we all used to think, like that's what we thought, like eating french fries is bad, but it's not. Like if it's not every day, you can still have it while you are still getting amazing body and results, and you're just an example that it's true. And I also think it's the most sustainable way to do this, because when you
Mhm.
have that food, you either next day feel like crap, and that just reminds to you like, oh my god, why did I eat this? Like my body is
Mhm.
really not used to eat like this. Or you just tell yourself, hey, that's okay. Like, oh my god, like I work so hard 6 days out of 7. Like that one day does not, like it's not gonna kill me, or it's not gonna cost me gaining 10 pounds. So I love that. um I guess like what's your biggest, I guess, takeaway from, like, we still work together. It's not like we're not working together, but like what would you say that was like maybe the one thing that like surprised you the most? Because obviously you hired me with certain expectations, hiring a coach that you've never worked with, and there probably were things that you were like, maybe, wow, like this is good. Was there anything like that, or like your biggest takeaway overall from like the whole coaching?
I think the biggest thing was just I struggled at first in the sense of I didn't know if I was going to get results.
Mm.
So I my biggest thing was is this going to be worth it? Am I going to get the results? Am I so like every week I had to remind myself like I just have to keep pushing. I have to keep pushing. And like seeing the results at the end, and like even now I still look at my pictures from my best shape to when I first started, and it's just like wow, like I can't believe like that's me. Like I was able to do that myself, just learning and pushing myself. And in the beginning I worked out at the gym a lot, but then me and my husband put a gym in our basement. So like having the motivation to put the shoes on and get off the couch and go to the basement, work out and run the 3 miles that I didn't want to run every day. Just I think that was the biggest thing for me, and the biggest takeaway was like you can do it. It's really all about what you set your mind to, and you can transform your body into whatever you want to. I keep telling everybody now, I think my biggest struggle is because everyone's like, it's hard to love your body after pregnancy, and I'm not going to disagree with that, but I think it's harder when you are pregnant to love your body because you can't change it.
Oh,
After pregnancy I can go change this, I can lose the weight, I can push myself. But during pregnant you can't. There's limitations. Your body is so much more energy is going into creating the baby that you can't push yourself to that limit that you could before. So I feel like that's one of the things that I keep reminding myself, like I can do this after the baby, I just have to relax now.
that is such a good point, because I told you before the live that I'm learning with you, because I've never been pregnant, right? And that is such a good point. When I think about it, I think that one day if I will get pregnant, I will feel the same way, because we are just such a like we're hard workers, right? Like
Mhm.
especially when it comes to fitness, like you've been like tagging me every day, selfies in the mirror, flexing. I was like, yeah, that's my girl. Like I've seen myself in you, because I was like, she is so goal driven. That's why you got such amazing results. And I guess that now you just have to like really tell yourself like, hey, come on, like now it's time to just, like you said, relax. Like I can work on my body after, but now I just have to wait. And I think that that must be like really the most difficult thing about the whole pregnancy thing when we talk about it. That is
Mhm.
a good point. That made me actually think. um so I think that we covered everything. Is there anything that you would like to share with anybody who maybe, let's say, because I know there's a lot of people who might feel the same, or like you used to feel, or they have certain hesitations, or very often I feel like people don't take the action because they feel like they're scared of failing, and
Mhm.
having that feeling of like, I failed again, and now on top of that it cost me a lot of money, right? Like what would you suggest? Because ultimately I always tell my clients that not only that I was able to help you, but now because of your story you can help others to maybe make the decision that you made a year and a half ago, and that has changed your life better, right? So what would you tell people or someone who would be watching and being like, oh my god, like should I do this or should I not?
I would tell them, I guess, I mean, ask questions first off, and then if you're thinking about it, you're not going to know until you take the risk. I'm one of those people that you can sit there and ponder and ponder and ponder, but until you actually take that risk and just to go head first in and accomplish it, you're not going to know what your results are until you actually do it. Martina, like I said, it's the best thing that I've ever done working with you, and I would advise anyone to. And that would be my advice. Like if you're on the edge of unsure if you want to or not, my advice would be to do it. I mean, you can do just a solid 6 months and see how you like it. You can do a year and see how you like it. You don't have to stick to it with a year and a half and longer like I have. I just enjoy it. But
I love
I
that.
mean, I enjoy it so much. Like, I have actually talked to my husband about potentially in my future learning to become a coach, to help women, like myself. And, I have family members that struggle that ask me for advice. And, my advice is just is to get that partner, to get that person that you can talk to. And Martina's a great person. And like I said, she's become more of a friend that I can rely on to help motivate me and help encourage me rather than just a coach. So my advice would be, I would take the risk.
Oh, thank you. That makes me happy that that's how you feel. And obviously, this feedback means a lot. But you are not the only one in the team who thinks about becoming a coach, because Erin used to be my client and now she's coach because fitness just became her passion. And that's like the next step for a lot of people, because when you truly fall in love with whole fitness and just taking care of your body, then you almost feel like you have the responsibility to help
Mhm.
others, because people start asking you, right? Like, what did you do? How did you lose this weight? And then more and more you talk about it, you almost feel like, oh my god, like I know so much, I can actually help these people. And that is amazing, because we have this whole impact together and we can really help others. So that makes me happy. Thank you so much for joining me on Thursday in the afternoon. You inspire so many people, and that's why I was like, I need to bring her on. And I'm actually surprised that we're just doing this live after like a year and a half, to be honest with you. I didn't even yeah, thought about it.
No, I appreciate it, and thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it, and like I said, I love working with you, and I love working and seeing everyone's progress. I love the Facebook groups and seeing everybody work out and the client chats. They're awesome, and some days I have my struggles and I post in that, and the ladies boost my confidence and help me grow.
Right.
So that I would, again, it's been an opportunity to work with you, and I'm extremely blessed to have you as my coach.
Oh, thank you so much, Whisper. I hope you have an amazing day, and obviously we'll chat soon. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.